There's a storm coming. Hey, this is Chuck Vosberg from Next Home Gulf to Bay, along with my wife Pat, your favorite realtors. And I'd like to answer a question today that fortunately does not come up very often. What happens when a hurricane's approaching and you've got a closing on your house? So we're taking a break right now. We're getting our house ready for a hurricane, and that's kind of what prompted this video, because we do have a couple of closings coming up this week, and there's a hurricane that's approaching the Gulf of Mexico, and it's expected to hit either right here or somewhere near here. So we're getting everything ready. But that kind of begs the question, what happens with real estate transactions if there is a hurricane? So there's really three parts to it. There's before the storm hits, there's what if the storm hits the day that the closing is supposed to be, and also what happens if the property is destroyed or damaged. So we'll start off with before the storm. That's the stage we're in right now. Now, if any of our closings were to try and obtain insurance now, they're not going to get it. There's no insurance company that's going to issue any kind of insurance policy while there is a storm threatening the area where the property's in. And that just makes common sense. For that reason, during hurricane season, we recommend that people get their insurance early so that way if a storm's coming, they're not going to be caught with a problem. And of course, like right now, there's a state of emergency declared by the governor, and the title companies may not be open to actually close the transaction on the day that's been scheduled. So if that doesn't happen, well, there's nothing anybody can do about that. There's a clause in the contracts that we use called force majeure, and that covers things like storms or unexpected circumstances, natural disasters, anything major that is unexpected. So if the closing doesn't happen on time because of the storm, then it'll be rescheduled, and there are no negative consequences for anybody involved. There's nothing anybody could do. And likewise, if our people did wait and they weren't able to get insurance and had to postpone closing until after the storm passes, same thing. There's really no way anybody could have known for sure what was going to happen, and it kind of falls under that clause. Now, I don't mean this to be legal advice, of course. If you have a specific question about a contract that you're involved in, we always recommend that it's best to consult an attorney. So I don't mean any of this to be legal advice. I'm just kind of laying out what probably happens. So as far as the closing itself, if it gets delayed, that's the way it goes. Now, let's say that the closing gets delayed and the property gets destroyed or damaged by the storm. Well, in that case, still, it falls under that force majeure clause because nobody had any control over the storm. Now, of course, for all of our clients, for vacant properties, we've already gone, we've taken the signs down, we've made sure that the property is secure and everything is as safe as it can be, but nobody knows what's going to happen. So if the property is damaged, there are a couple of different ways that it can be handled. It depends on the extent of the damage. If the house is not able to be lived in after the storm, then there are several different ways of handling that. And this video would be too long if I went into all the different ways, but the closing can be delayed, or they can go ahead and move in with the agreement that the insurance is going to take care of the repairs, or the seller is going to take care of the repairs, whichever the case may be. But what if the property's destroyed and there's no way that the seller can deliver the property the way it was when it went under contract? Well, again, that same clause in the contract kicks in. In a case like that, where for nobody's fault at all, they're not able to perform the contract, then the buyer would get their deposit back. Nobody has any negative consequences because of it, because again, it was an unforeseen circumstance that nobody had any control over. So like I said, we've got 2 closings coming up this week. They are scheduled for what we hope will be after the storm, so that we'll have time to make sure everything's in order. And we always do a walkthrough on properties before we actually have our clients close and take possession. So the walkthrough, you can be sure, is going to be a little bit more substantial this time to ensure that shingles didn't blow off or any kind of damage happened to the property. Because if so, then we have to deal with it. So we're going to do that. Both of these properties are waterfront, so we're keeping our fingers crossed, no damage, and that everything goes smoothly. But if it doesn't, it's already figured out. It's already written in the contract. Everybody knows what's going to happen if there's a force majeure, which a hurricane certainly falls under. So if you have any questions or comments or anything at all, let us know. We'll tell you anything you want to know. No strings attached. We put humans over houses, and that's not just a slogan. That's the way we live our lives. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. And again, if you got any questions, either put them in the comments or just give us a call. We'll tell you anything you want to know. Thanks for watching. And if you are here in Florida and you're seeing this before the storm, please stay safe, be prepared, and follow your local authorities' directions so that everybody stays safe. And I wish you well. Bye-bye.